So thank you everybody for joining in. I've got you guys on Zoom here. I've got Instagram down here. So welcome. My name is Nicole Michelson Traum, and I'm NicoleTraumYoga.com. And today's practice is going to be a practice of a little slow flow, a little bit of our yin, and then a restorative. So it's a real kind of calming, relaxing, just reset for yourself. It's a reset to restore and feel refreshed. So you want to make sure that you have some props nearby. I know I did a video for that earlier this week, but if you didn't see that, we are going to need some blankets, a bolster if you have one. And you can notice I do not actually have a real bolster because I gave mine away. You can use your sofa cushion. You can use some pillows from your couch. You can do lots of different things. Improvise, have fun. The nice part about being home is that you can kind of just jump up and grab something off your bed or off your sofa. And then also a strap and some blocks. So if you don't have a regular strap, you can use a belt, you can use something from your bathrobe, anything will really do. We're going to start by sitting up nice and tall. And if you have blankets, you can sit up on your blankets so that you lift the back of your hips a little bit. And what that does is it helps to release the front of the hips, the hip flexors. It helps to calm the nervous system. And it's really important in when we start to downshift ourselves, when we start to get into that place of rest and digest rather than go, 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 do, be, be. So take a few moments here to set yourself up, sitting up on your blankets, or I'm going to grab my block right here. And as you sit up, just begin to get comfortable. Feel the back of your hips lengthening. And then let the front of the hips start to soften as you sit tall. And begin with a couple of deep breaths. So inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Letting yourself fill up and empty out. And then you can take a few moves here. It's just drawing those shoulders up towards your ears and then releasing them back down. Drawing them up and then releasing them down. Checking in and letting yourself really feel. So my theme through this week has been centering around this idea of letting ourselves sit with whatever it is that we come into our practice with. Sometimes we use our practice as an escape, and sometimes that's all we can do. I think this last year has taught us that sometimes we just need to escape for a little bit, but eventually we need to face whatever it is that we are dealing with, whether it's a situation, it's a physical ailment, whether it is emotional. And our practice of yoga is to do just that, to make union with what we've got, with whatever it is that we're holding on to. So take a few moments here as you turn within and just let yourself sit with whatever comes up, noticing how you're feeling, even just kind of recognizing what is it that comes up this morning. Maybe it's something from earlier in the week. Maybe it's something from this past year. Maybe it's something from, just an experience you had on your way to your mat this morning. As you connect and as you breathe, give yourself these few moments to be a little uncomfortable. Our first response when things are uncomfortable, when things get kind of weird, is to push away or to protect ourselves. And our yoga practice really asks us and invites us to go deeper. And this is where we get to start that practice here on our mat so that slowly and surely it follows us off of our mats. So as you check in, notice how your body's feeling. You can shift your weight side to side. Feel yourself breathing and softening, maybe rolling your shoulders onto your back. And then shift your weight forward and back and just notice and feel. Checking in, where does it feel comfortable? Where does it feel uncomfortable? And as you allow your shoulders to soften away from your ears and you connect with your breath, begin to notice the quality of your breath now. Noticing the length of your inhale and the length of your exhale. Seeing if you can start to allow the inhale and the exhale to come closer to even without much effort, just by observing. Feel the sensation of your breath along the back of the throat. Feeling the breath move down the back of the throat as you inhale, up the back of the throat as you exhale. And noticing how that starts to shift into our bodies, allowing us to soften, allowing yourself to release. Noticing whatever it is that comes up, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, whether it's flowy with ease, or if it feels a little stuck. The practice doesn't discriminate. It allows us to open to whatever it is that comes our way. We choose to engage. So as you bring your hands in front of your heart, just take a moment to consider what it might look like, what it might feel like if you engage with whatever it is that you've got, whatever it is you're carrying around. Know that this is your space, your sacred space to move and process, to breathe and soften. We set an intention today to allow ourselves to be with whatever it is that comes up, to face our breath, our body, our thoughts with an open heart and an open mind. Allow yourself here to stay soft. And we'll seal our intention with the sound of Om. So let's take a big breath in. Om. And gently bow your head and release your hands. You can lift your head and lift your eyes, and we'll start here with some slow circles, just moving round and round. Feeling your hips releasing, allowing that energy to soften. Thinking about almost your energy spiraling down. I live near the beach here, so I was telling my students, when you bring your umbrella to the beach and you start to kind of work it down, you have to twist it into the sand. It's the same thing. Rooting yourself down so that when the wind comes, when things come to kind of push us over, we're still grounded. And then notice your direction go all the way around the other way. Just feeling yourself releasing, letting yourself soften here. That's it. And then as you come back through center, inhale and roll your shoulders onto your back. Exhale as you round and pull your belly in. Just going back and forth, big inhales and big exhales. That's it. Just going back and forth as you can. Feeling your spine moving, even feeling your hips start to rock forward and back here. That's it. 2 more rounds. And then as you come back up, take your right hand down, inhale and lift the left arm up and over. Exhale as you come back through. Inhaling, reaching up and over. Exhaling, coming back through. Just going back and forth here. Side body stretching. Perfect. This next time as you come up and over, stay there and just start to move your arm in a slow circle. Relax your shoulders and your neck. Feel those sensations that come up. And then change your direction. Go all the way around the other way. Just going nice and slow, releasing your shoulder and your neck, opening up here underneath the armpit. Got a lot of lymph nodes in here. We want to bring in a little bit of openness, a little bit of cleansing and flow to that lymphatic fluid. And then as you come on out, we'll bring the left hand down, reach the right arm up. Big inhale as you stretch up and over. That's it. Big exhale as you come back through. Inhaling and exhaling, just feeling that stretch as you go, reaching up and over. Good. And then exhaling back through. Let's do 2 more. And then this next time, as you come up, we're going to stay there and just start to move your arm in a slow circle again. So relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your neck, bringing in that movement, again, opening up into the armpit, into the front of the chest, and then changing your direction out, going all the way around the other way. That's it. Still breathing. And then coming all the way out and just rolling your shoulders onto your back. Perfect. Let's take the right arm back, lift the left arm up, inhale, exhale as you come back through. We'll do 3 more like that. Big inhale, reaching up. Big exhale as you come back through. Last one. Perfect. Holding it there as you lean back, shoulders back and chest back, breathing into the upper chest. Good. And then we'll switch it out. Left hand comes up, down, right arm comes up. Inhaling and exhaling. So again, just going back and forth. Big inhale and big exhale. Opening and closing the chest, creating some opening here. 2 more. Big inhale and big exhale. Holding it there as you lean back, opening up through the chest, breathing into the upper corners of your chest. Good. And then we'll come all the way back out. And as you come out, you can move your head side to side, just giving yourself a little extra space here. Perfect. As you come in now, we're going to grab onto our elbows and just start to lift the arms up. Breathing, leaning back again, opening up through the chest and the heart. Turn your head side to side. Perfect. And then we'll make our way all the way out. And as you come out, we're going to come back to our mats now. So I'm going to scooch back towards the back of my mat. And as you come back, you're going to find your block, right? So we're going to start with that block. If you don't have a block, you can use a book, you can use a box of tissues, you can also do it without. Okay, so as you come onto your back here, I'm going to move all my other props out of the way. We're going to start by just lying back, and you can do this one with your knees bent. We're going to hold on to the block right over our head. So it's right in line. Our arms are right in line with our shoulders. We're going to start here by lifting the shoulders up, just extending up, and then pressing those shoulders back down. Inhaling and extending away from the floor. Keep your arms straight, and then just press them back down. Inhale. And exhale, and just notice what comes up. So especially behind the shoulder blades, it can get really tight, really tense. And we want to bring a little massage in so that we can breathe into that space. 2 more. Lifting up and then pressing back. Lifting up, good, and then pressing back. Now keep those shoulders pressing down. You can squeeze the block a little. Inhale as you bring your arms up and overhead, and then exhale right back through center. Replug the shoulders. Inhale as you lift them up, and then exhale as you come back. Good. Pressing back down, inhaling, extending, exhaling, coming back. Keeping those shoulders pressing down. The second that you feel them lifting up, reset yourself. Good. Notice the sensations that come up. Let yourself be with them. Breathe into them. Good. Let's do 2 more. Perfect. Pressing down and extending up. And then this time, as you bring your arms up, if you can rest your hands in the block on the earth, keeping those shoulders pressing down, breathing into some of that tension. Good. Let's take 2 more full breaths. That's it. Good. And as you come on out, you can lower the block over to your side. Find a blanket. We're going to grab a blanket and we're going to set it up for underneath the side of our head. So make sure that your blankets are nice and smooth here. You want to make sure that they're nice and smooth so that as you rest into them, you can actually really release. It's a great way to really connect into the nervous system and let it start to downgrade here. And from here, we'll start to lie down, bringing our head onto the blanket. I'm going to come away from my wall a little. Top of your shoulder is going to come in line with the bottom of that blanket, and your head can rest. And sometimes you need more than one blanket, so you can play around with that. Extend your left arm on top of the right and just let yourself breathe. We'll slowly move into this one. So we're going to take this left hand and start to inhale it up, twisting, and then exhale, bring it back. Going slowly here. Inhale, sliding open. Not going all the way back just yet. Exhaling and coming back through. Big inhale here, opening up. And big exhale as you slide back. Good. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Good. And exhale. And as you come back through on this last one, you can stay there. You can bring that left shoulder down, that left elbow down, turn your head to the left, and let yourself breathe into the stretch, especially into the top of that left shoulder. Bringing in some space and allowing yourself to receive. Listen for the sound of your breath. Feel it meet you where you're at. That's it. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. And then slide that left arm back and over, letting it rest on top of the right. Feeling yourself as you breathe. Releasing your head into the blanket, relaxing the shoulders and the neck. Perfect. You can roll over to your other side. I'm going to turn so I'm still facing the camera. It's up to you how you want to do it. We're going to set ourselves up on the other side. So coming around onto the left side now, lining yourself up so that the top of the shoulder is in line with the bottom of the blankets, resting your head. So you can do 1 or 2 blankets here. Take your right hand, rest it on top of the left. That's it. And once you're there, just start to breathe, feel yourself settling and softening down. And then we're going to take this right hand and start to inhale and twist open. Exhale as you come back through. So going slow here, inhaling and exhaling, easing into it. Big inhale and big exhale. Just going back and forth, inhaling and exhaling. That's it. Let's do 3 more. Every time getting a little closer to the floor behind you. That's it. And then this next time, as you come back, you can stay there, resting that right shoulder down, turning your head to the right, coming into that supine twist. Feeling yourself stretching across that right side body as you breathe. Check in with your breath. Feel yourself as you soften and you release. Letting everything soften down. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. And then we'll take that right arm and bring it back over to the left and just letting it rest there again. Checking in as you release your head, your neck, and your shoulders. Taking 2 more deep breaths. And we're going to start to use the strength here of our upper body to press ourselves up. And as you come up, take a comfortable seat and find your blanket again so that you can sit up on your blanket and have your strap nearby. So start to transition now into the lower body a little bit more. So as you sit up tall, lifting the back of the hips, then you can take your legs out wide, flex your feet. Just start to rock side to side. Feeling that stretch, feeling the inner thighs stretching, the back of the thighs. Feel your belly move in and up, the low back move in and up, just supporting yourself where you're at. And then from there, we'll come around in a slow circle. So just moving nice and slow. When we have these slower practices, sometimes our mind goes to that place of like, what are we going to do next? When are we going to go faster? So when you feel that, I want you to come back to the sensation of your breath. Listen for the sound, feel for the sensation. Let yourself be back in this moment. Remind yourself that there's no rush. You're still doing the work. Then noticing your direction here, come around the other way, just going nice and slow, round and round. That's it. Checking back in with the breath, noticing the sound of the breath, feeling for the sensation of the breath. That's it. And then as you come up, you're going to take this right leg, bring it to the inside of your left thigh, and then find your strap. So we're going to take the strap to the bottom of the left foot, Remember, you can use anything really. You can even use a towel here. Make sure you have enough slack so that that left shoulder can come onto your back. And then start with your right hand out in front of your heart, just sitting up tall, letting yourself connect to your body and to your breath, bringing your awareness to the space of the heart, and then we'll slowly start to move. So with your right hand, inhale as you open, twisting open to the right, and then exhale back through center. Your hand on the strap is going to create some resistance, so you can go a little deeper into that left hip. Inhale, twisting open gently, slowly. Exhale it back. I like to think of this one like Tai Chi, moving slowly in a meditative way. That's it. Twisting open and coming back. Twisting and coming back. Good. This next time, as you twist open, stay there. Make sure you can see your fingers in your peripheral line of vision. Bring your hand forward a little, the shoulder back as you sit tall, and just breathe. Feel the shoulders softening away from your ears. Give yourself a chance to be with all the sensations that come up. That's it. And then we're going to take this right arm and start to lean up and over to the left. Inhale and exhale. That's it. Big inhale as you reach up and over, and then big exhale as you come back through. Just feeling that stretch, that opening. Inhale and exhale. Good. 3 more. Maybe working your hand down the strap a little bit more. This time, as you come into the stretch, stay there, leaning over. So you notice here, I bend my elbow, I kind of lean into my left thigh. You can reach your right arm straight up. Some of you might be able to bring it a little deeper. You want to be able to root this right seat, this right hip down to create more space. So start with the arm straight up. You can reach the arm a little more. Look up towards your right armpit. Maybe sneak your hand down the strap or towards your foot at this point. Let's take 2 more full breaths. Notice what comes up. Breathe into it. Perfect. And as you come out, we're going to release the arms, release the strap. Take your right hand down to the earth. Now, option 1 is to just stretch up like this. The deeper option is going to be to lift the hips and come into stargazer. Leaning back, opening up through the chest, breathing into that left side body. We'll take 3 more full breaths here. Big inhale and big exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. That's it. Like one last breath here. And then come all the way out. And as you come out, we'll switch sides. Extending the right leg, bringing the left leg in, just coming around in a couple circles. Letting yourself breathe. Feeling yourself as you soften. Good. Find the strap here, bring it to the bottom of your right foot. And then from here, we'll sit up nice and tall. Bring your left hand in front of your heart. Inhale as you twist open to the left. And then exhale, come back through. Inhaling and exhaling. Making sure not just to inhale, but also to exhale. Slowly moving here, inhaling and exhaling. Good. Let's do 3 more. And then staying open here, looking towards your left hand, rolling the shoulders back. Good. And we'll start to bring that left arm up and over as you inhale and exhale it back through. Noticing here where you get stuck and where you feel open. So many times in our lives, we just kind of keep going. We keep pressing forward. Find ways to listen and slow down. That's where we really get the refresh. 2 more. That's it. This next time, as you lean up and over, you can stay there. You can even sneak your hand down, maybe reach towards your right foot, looking up. Arm is either straight up or in line with your ear. Letting yourself breathe here, making sure to exhale. Take another deep breath. And then come out slow. And as you come out, you can lose the strap. You can take your left hand down and just reach the right arm up and over, or you can lift the hips and come into that stargazer here. Just leaning back, breathing nice and full, nice and deep, making sure to inhale and exhale. We've got 2 more breaths on this side. Good. And then come all the way back. And as you come back, we'll bring the soles of both feet to touch. And this is where you can have your blocks nearby. So grab your blocks if they aren't super close. You can also grab your bolster or your blanket. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. We're coming into Badaknasana. And you want to have about 2 palms distance between your heels and your seat. So you can kind of line yourself up like that. Come in and do a couple of circles here again, spiraling that energy down to release. Checking back in with your breath, filling up and emptying out. Noticing your direction, you can switch it out, go all the way around the other way. And then we'll start to sit up tall, inhaling as you sit up, exhaling as you hinge forward. So just going back and forth now, inhaling and exhaling. You've got it. Lifting and lowering, feeling that stretch. I'm going to put a blanket underneath my feet because this floor hurts. Let's do 2 more. And this time, as you come forward with this last round, a couple of options here. So you can just hinge forward and let your head drop, or you can take your blocks and bring them down by your feet. And the nice thing about blocks is you can crank them up, you can crank them down, you can start on a higher level, kind of like the higher level to start, just so that you can have some context. Sometimes it's good to use these blocks, these props, to bring us back into the present moment. We don't have to go 110%. Maybe you can go, but it's not always beneficial. It doesn't always serve us. So once you've been in the pose for a little bit, maybe at that highest level with your blocks, then you can ask yourself, can I stay here? Or should I back out a little? And conversely, you can ask yourself, can I stay here? Or can I go a little deeper? That's part of the conversation, part of that engagement with what you've got, with who you are. So try it out. Notice, maybe you need to back out. Maybe you can go in a little deeper. Let yourself breathe into that space, into all the sensations, all the thoughts, all the things that come up as you turn within. Let's take 3 more full breaths here. And letting yourself be supported by your breath, by the props. And then very slowly making your way on up. And as you come up, you can move your props out of the way. Start to come back to moving those hips around in slow circles, checking back in. Good. From there, you can switch your direction, go all the way around the other way. Listening for the sound of your breath, feeling for the sensation of it. As you come out of this one, we're going to make our way into child's pose. So as you come into your child's pose, if you want any extra props here, this is where those things like bolsters and blankets are going to come in. I'm going to grab my blankets and bring them long ways on the mat, refolding them if necessary. Putting them vertical on the mat so that you have a little extra cushion. And then also you can even grab that bolster, or as I'm just using a big pillow from my bed, place it on there. Bring the big toes to touch and the knees apart. start to straddle those blankets a little bit. And as you come in, you can start to lean down and forward. And as you come into it, just let yourself soften. Another thing I really love to do in these restorative poses is sort of bring my hands and tuck them underneath the blankets. One, it feels like you have something to hug. The other thing is that it starts to ground you down. It's like the idea of a weighted blanket, right? That connection, that heaviness, that grounded and rootedness. We get that from letting the blankets and our body weight press down. Give it a try. Let yourself soften here. And then relax your head a little bit more. Check in with your breath. Your head's turned in one direction. Don't worry, we're going to switch it out in about 30 seconds. So let yourself just linger here, soften here. After this last exhale, you can switch your head over to the other side. So just giving yourself some space here to feel and release. And at first, it might not even feel all that comfortable, but give yourself the space to even it out. Feeling that support of the blankets underneath you. Checking in with your breath, listening for the sounds of the breath. That's it. Let's take 3 more rounds here. Sitting with whatever comes up, sensation, emotion, thought. And then as you come on out, you can come back up. We'll make our way to hands and knees. And from hands and knees, just start to bring a little bit of movement into your spine. So coming in here, coming into cat and cow, inhaling as you arch your back, and then exhaling as you round and pull your belly in. So big inhale and big exhale, going back and forth. Taking these little pauses along the way, just allow you to process, to be present. That's it. Let's do 2 more rounds of breath, inhaling and exhaling. And then as you come back through a neutral spine, you can just start to work your hips round and round, working along the outer hips, the outer waistline. Good. Changing up the direction, going all the way around the other way. Breathing nice and slow, nice and deep. Perfect. Come back and do 3 cat and cows, inhaling and exhaling. Rounding and arching. That's it. And then we'll make our way into a low lunge now. So this is where you're going to need your blocks. I'm going to keep my blanket nearby so that I have it for my knees. If you need that underneath your knees, feel free to grab it. Grab your blocks, have them up here. And we're going to take our right leg and just step it forward. So we'll start here with one hand, left hand on the block, right hand to right knee, and just start to bend into the front knee. And then work the hips back as you straighten your front leg. Feeling the top of the left thigh stretch here. That's it. Going back and forth. Bending and straightening. Feeling that opening. That's it. Let's do 3 more like that. Making sure to breathe. Meeting yourself where you're at. That's it. This next time as you come forward, we're going to stay there. And this is where those 2 blocks come in handy. So both blocks to the inside of your front foot. Let your hips drop down. Feel that stretch, especially into the top of the left thigh. Good. Now you can stay here. We're all going to lift our inner thighs just a little bit. Keep them lifted. You can either stay like that or you can start to come down onto your blocks. So the blocks, again, they've got settings. You can go up to that highest setting or maybe that medium setting. And just take a few moments here. Woo! It's on the side of my rug there. Take a few moments here to soften down, to breathe, and to check in. And this is a good place to check in and think, can I stay here? Maybe you need to bring that inside block up a little, right? Or maybe you just want to come onto your hands on the inside. Can you stay here? Do you need to come out, or can you go a little deeper? We're going to be in this one for about 1.5 minutes more. So you want to be able to breathe, feeling that stretch, noticing the full inhale and the full exhale. Softening even behind that place, behind your heart. Let your head release. And take the time to turn within and be with whatever comes up. Listening for the sound of the breath. Feeling for the breath along the back of the throat. Remembering you can always come out if you need to. We're going to take 2 more rounds of breath here. And then slowly start to come on up. Keeping that front knee bent, bringing your hands onto your front knee. Take your left arm up and just stretch. Maybe you're going to stay here. Maybe you can bring that arm up and over to the right. Some of you maybe even bring that left arm or that right arm back behind you as you twist a little. Taking another deep breath. That's it. And then coming on out nice and slow, coming back to hands and knees. Moving your hips side to side. We're staying really low today, so don't worry about coming up to standing. This is more of that restore and refresh. If you want to take a down dog in between, this is probably the only time we'll do a down dog here and right after the other side. Just coming in and stretching, reaching your hips up and back, pedaling out your feet as you shake your head yes and no. Checking in. When your mind starts to rush you or bring you to another place, come back to the sensation and the sound of your breath. That's it. Coming to stillness, pressing out through your hips, from your heart out through your hands. And then we'll lower ourselves down again and we'll switch sides. So we're going to come back to hands and knees and step the left foot forward here. You can have your right hand on the block. We're going to inhale as you come forward and then exhale as you come back. That's it. So just going back and forth, inhaling and exhaling. Bending and then straightening into that front leg as you reach your hips back. Easing in, checking in with all the sensations, even all the thoughts that come up. That's it. 3 more. And then this next time, as you come forward, we're going to stay there. And as you come forward, you can either just stay on your hands here. You can come down to your blocks. You can even play with the height of the blocks as you lift your inner thighs. Letting yourself breathe here and soften. Checking back in with the breath. We're going to be in this one again for about 1.5 minutes more. Sometimes that means as you check in that you have to back out. If you check in with the breath, you'll notice the quality of the breath is really going to guide you to how deep or how much you need to back out. So check in with that. If you're not taking that full inhale and exhale, give yourself permission to have a little more space. Let yourself make union with whatever it is you've got going on, physical, emotional, mental. Take 2 more full breaths here. And then we'll make our way back up slowly, keeping that front knee bent, bringing your hands onto your front knee. So find your balance here to start, bending nice and deep. Maybe bring your right arm up, lean up and over to the left. And some of you might be able to bring that left arm back behind you as you twist and lean over to the side. 2 more full breaths here. Good. And then as you come out slowly. And then if you want to come back to that down dog, you can come back to down dog. Otherwise, you can come back to hands and knees. So coming up, taking a stretch wherever you're at, taking about 6 breaths here, lifting your armpits, reaching your hips back, shaking your head yes and no. Feel the muscles as they hug onto the bones. They support you, they hold you. And once you feel that, then you can extend out, press out through your arms, back through your hips. Take another deep breath. Good. And then lower yourself down to your knees. Come back and move your hips side to side, turning your head in the direction of your hips. Perfect. Come back to cat and cow, inhaling as you arch your back, exhaling as you round. Inhaling and exhaling one more time. That's it. And then we'll come back to a child's pose. So big toes touch, knees apart. This time you can come all the way to the ground. If you want to grab your props and use them, you can. We're going to bring it into a little side stretch. So just coming in nice and slow. I like to do this one as an active child's pose. So coming up onto the fingertips, lifting your elbows and your armpits, breathing into that space. Making sure here as you exhale, you can soften down a little bit more. And just breathe. Stay nice and low. Walk your hands over to the right, pressing the earth away. Stretching into the left side body. And we'll walk our hands over to the left, stretching out through the right side body this time. Just breathing as you get low. Coming back through center. This time, keep the right arm forward, slide your left arm underneath. If you want to grab a bolster or a blanket for underneath your head, you can. It's coming into a twist. You're letting yourself breathe here as you stretch that left arm a little deeper. And then we'll come back through center and switch it out. So this time you'll extend your left arm forward, take your right arm, slide it under and to the left. As you lower your head down, either to the floor or to a blanket or a prop, sliding that right arm through a little bit deeper as you breathe, drawing the breath down towards the back of the hips, the back of the waistline. That's it. Come all the way out. And as you come on out, let's just come on back to hands and knees. This time moving your hips slowly round and round. Moving your head. Checking in here. We're going to change the direction of our hips. So going around the other way. That's it. And then come back to a cat and cow. Do 3 rounds of cat and cow. Inhaling as you arch your back. Exhaling as you round. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Last round. And then coming back, and we'll make our way onto our bellies. We're going to come into a restorative pose here. So we're going to come in, getting a blanket, folding it up for underneath your hips. So this is going to go for right in front of the hips as we lay on our belly. Your other blanket will go right up here, and you can unfold it. So it's going to be nice and flat. And it's just so that you have something nice to lie on. You can smooth it out. And the last piece that you're going to need here is a block, and the block is going to go down by your feet. All right. So watch me for this one as I come into it. It's a little tricky. You may not have done this one before. We want to feel that blanket support right underneath our hips. So in that spot, kind of where the hips and the thighs meet. As you come to lie down, you might need to adjust. I've done this one before. All right. And then we'll come in and rest your arms on the blankets. And so I know for a lot of us ladies, it's a little uncomfortable to lie like this. You can put a blanket either underneath your breast or above for a little extra support. Once you're here, I like to come in and bring my head to the side and bring my arms out like this. You can do hands underneath, and then you take your feet and place them on the block, and the block kind of gets a little tricky. Let's move it around. Knees are on the floor, hips are on the blanket, chest is resting on the floor. And as you come into this one, you can start with your head in one direction and just let yourself release. Check in with your breath. Feel yourself as you soften. Give yourself permission to lie in a deeper way, to be with whatever it is that comes up, to feel your body get heavy, to allow yourself to be supported. You have your head turned in one direction. Now's a good time to switch it out. As we transition out of this one, we want to be mindful of the low back. So as you come out, you can come back through center, move your feet off the block, push the block out of the way. Walk your hands back by your chest. Press your knees down to engage your belly and your low back a little, and then slowly transition. You can come back to puppy or to child's pose. Just taking a little breath here. And as you come out, you can come back up and make your way onto your back for Shavasana. And as you come onto the back, whatever it is that you'd like to use as your props, you can use. I'm going to suggest here you take your blankets, fold them up, and put them on top of your hips for a little extra support. Some of you may even have sandbags. It's really nice to kind of relax the nervous system, give yourself a little reboot. You can do the same thing with a heavy blanket. Okay, so as you come to lie back, get comfortable. As you come all the way onto the back, you can start with your knees bent if that feels better. And then straighten the legs and bring the blankets just like where they were as we laid down before, having them right at that place where the hips and the thighs meet. Turn your feet out and then bring your hands down by your sides. They come off the mat a little bit. They're resting on the earth. The palms are facing up. So you're just gently tucking those shoulders underneath you. Just let yourself start to soften down and receive. Be with sort of the uncomfortable, the stillness, the slowing down, and notice what it brings to you. Feel yourself breathing into the earth, expanding with your inhale, and then softening back down with your exhale. You can stay lying on your back. I'm going to come a little closer to the screen, but you can stay right there. Just letting yourself release. Checking in with the spots that are still holding on to tension. Checking in with the spots that have found ease. You get to make friends with both of those places. Notice the flow of your breath, the quality of your breath. Just give yourself the space to be right here, right now, with whatever it is that you've got going on, whatever it is that comes up in your mind, whatever it is that comes up in your breath. When your mind tries to take you somewhere else or rush you onto the next place, come back to your breath. Coming back to the sensation of the breath, the sound of the breath, the way that your body softens as you exhale, as you release. If it helps, you can even count your breath, counting your inhale as 1, your exhale as 2, going all the way up to 10, and then starting back at 1. This is a great place of context so that if you find yourself distracted, you just come back to whatever number you left off on, letting go of the judgment, connecting right where you're at. begin to deepen your breath, allowing your mind to go wherever it would like to go. Bring a little movement back to your fingers, to your toes. On your next inhale, you can stretch your arms up and overhead, maybe stretch from your hands all the way down to the feet, a full body stretch up through the fingernails, down through the toes. And then lowering your arms as you bend your knees, rocking over to the side, and gently pressing yourself on up. Coming back to whatever comfortable seat suits you today. Hands back in front of your heart. Let the shoulders soften away from your ears. Feel yourself here in this moment, in this body, in this breath. And we honor this practice. We honor the way that we can practice being uncomfortable on our mats, finding stillness and ease so that we can find that off of our mats. So we might become more adept at that. We close today with an Om. Let's take a big breath in. Om. For your courageousness, we bow. Namaste. Thank you all for joining today. Hopefully I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.
That was awesome. I really had to fight to come out of that shavasana.
You know, I was like, oh my gosh, it's already 1:00 my time. I'm like, oh gosh. Yeah, you know, it's so important that we take this time to slow down, and especially since we're like kind of back in real life, it's almost too quick, I feel like. So remind yourself that it's okay. Slow down, pause, breathe.
Well, feel free to unmute yourself and say hello as you wind up your practice. Thank you so much, Nicole. I hope you're seeing the chat.